Okay, you all ready to cook? Today I'm going to tell you how to tie and prep a beef hanger steak, bone-in rib steak for grilling. I'm not going to bother showing you how to grill or anything like that. If you don't know already know how to do that, don't even bother with these pieces of meat right now. Go ahead and just stick with the hamburgers and the hot dogs. So, what I'm going to start with is the hanger steak. A lot of cooks are going to tell you can get hanger steak for about $2 or $3 a pound. They can from wholesalers, you probably can't from your retailer. But tell them you want a beef hanger steak. When you get it, you're going to take off the fat. And you're going to want a pretty sharp knife. And there's also going to be some silver skin on here that you're going to want to get off. Now, a little story about the hanger steak is a lot of cooks will tell you this is really good for fajitas and things like that. Don't bother spending $8 a pound on meat that you're going to make fajitas out of and that you're just going to cover up with a bunch of salsa anyway. Go with some top round, $1.25 a pound, $1.50. Go ahead and just screw that meat up instead of using this really good meat. The other thing is that you'll see some videos where they're showing you how to butcher this in the raw. And they'll say you should be able to get like 6 portions out of this, and if you cut down this vein and this and that, I'm telling you, you're probably going to screw it up the first couple of times. So don't bother doing that because you'll probably wind up getting 0 portions out of it. So anyway, we about got a lot of the fat off here. We're going to leave a little bit on for flavoring. And that's all just going to melt off anyway when you're ready to cook it. Okay, so as you can see, it splits down the center right there. And now we're going to get ready to tie this. So when you tie any piece of meat, here's a general rule for you. Take your ruler, measure it. Right there we got about 8 inches. Most of the time when you're tying this, if you multiply that by 10, that'll give you the amount of string that you need to properly tie this up with a little bit left over. Because if you undo it and it's not enough string right there, you're going to tie another piece on. It's going to be a real pain in the ass for you. So Penny, if you want to get up close here, I'm going to show these people how to tie this properly and then how to season it. Okay, so if you come up close and just watch me, slide your string underneath once, twice. Take that right there. See how that keeps it tight? And then you don't need a second person to stick their finger on there. You can do this all by yourself. Then you're going to tie that through. You're going to come up underneath, under your finger, bring it back. Get it tied. Up underneath, another inch. You can go a ½ inch. I will say the more of these loops you have in there, the harder it is when you get done. There's more string to cut, and it doesn't make that much of a difference in the scheme of things. It just makes it look cooler. So as you'll see, this split is down here. You want that facing towards you when you tie it, because if you start up at the other end and work your way down with that split piece, you're not going to be able to catch it and wrap it up underneath starting up at that end. So now we got it. We got our meat nice and tight there. Okay, so now you're going to understand what you'll do now. Flip the hanger steak over. Come back up, catch the lip right there. And you're going to bring your string back up towards the top. This is something that can be done a day or two ahead of time, which I recommend. And we're going to come through. You're going to bring it up. Got the string right up underneath there. Okay. Then you got it here. You're going to turn it back over. And you'll go through. Once, twice, right there. And then again with the rest of your string. You got a little bit left over. But having that left over is fine, as opposed to having to tie more on there. Then all you're simply going to do is season your steak. And I'm going to do it with a mixture of herbs de Provence, salt, granulated garlic, white pepper, a tad bit of sugar. And you just leave that sit out a good 4 to 6 hours or overnight ahead of time to let that spice really get down in there, and then grill it. Don't grill it to more than medium rare. If you do, it's going to be tough as shoe leather. If you want to do that, don't bother using this piece of meat. Get like a chuck and just cook the shit out of it, and then have it that way instead of wasting this. So later on I'm going to grill that up, and I will show you how it's properly sliced when we're done with that. When you come back, we're going to do the bone-in rib steak.